Hey there, it's Susie, otherwise known as Susie Q Scraps, and I'm excited to be sharing with you today one of my favorite ways to recolor embellishments to match the layouts I'm working on. Let's say, for example, that you're doing a graduation layout using Achievement the Bundle, which comes with an add-on that has several colored elements. And then you also have a Life Express the collection that coordinates with the graduation kit, and it has lots more color options for you to choose from. But let's say your graduate school color is red. You'll notice there's not a lot of red in this collection, but that's okay because we can take elements from the Life Express collection and recolor them. So I'm going to take a frame from a Life Express color flea and pull it into my program. I'm using Photoshop CS4 for this tutorial. It'll also work with other versions of Photoshop CS. If you have Photoshop Elements, I do have a separate video tutorial for this same method that you'll want to watch because the settings are just a little bit different. So once we have our frame open, the first thing we want to do is rename it. And as you'll notice, mine is still showing the original frame, so I'm going to close that and go open a file I resaved with the name red at the end so I don't overwrite my original file. Now the tool we're going to be using is called the Color Replacement tool. It's stacked with your brushes. And you'll notice that you'll have several options to choose from. These are the default settings. So you'll want to take the brush size and you want to make it so that the diameter is wider than your frame width. It doesn't have to be exact, just bigger so that it's faster to recolor. The mode by default is color, and that's the mode that you want. Then you have three options here to choose from. We want the third option, which does the sampling from the background color. And then you want to change limits to discontiguous, and I'll show you the difference between contiguous and discontiguous in just a moment. And then the tolerance we're going to set up to 100% so that any shade of purple found in this frame will get changed to the matching shade of red that we've picked for the color we want to change it to. And then you want anti-alias checked. Pretty much what we're telling our program is to take this foreground color and make it the main color of the frame. And that we want to take anything that's the background color, in our case purple, and make it red. So we'll just click on that color chip, select any purple from our frame, and click OK. So now we're saying we want to take anything purple and make it red. And you just paint over your frame and it starts to turn red. If this is at contiguous, you'll notice that unless your brush crosshair is on the frame when you click, you're not going to be coloring, even though your brush is overlapping it, which is why I choose discontiguous. So anytime my brush overlaps that frame, it starts changing the color. It's just faster. And there you go. We have a red frame instead of a purple one. Now the reason this recolored so nicely is because this red color and purple color have the same value. So let's look at something that has a different value. Say, for example, you wanted a square frame, not a round frame. Well, the orange is not the same value as the red. So if we were to tell the program we want to take anything orange and make it red and started painting over it, you'll see it's turning pink because this shade of pink has the same value as that shade of orange. So I'm going to hit Control Z to undo that. And my first step is going to be to desaturate this frame. So I'm just going to hit Control U. That'll bring up my saturation window. I'm just going to drag saturation all the way to the left. Then the next thing I'm going to do is open my levels window, Control L, and take the middle slider and slide it to the right so that it starts to get darker. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball where I think is a value that matches that red and then hit OK. And now we're going to tell the background to be gray, and then we'll paint over it. Now as you can see, the red's still not quite as dark as I wanted, but that's all right. We'll just go ahead and paint the whole frame, and then hit Control L again and adjust that middle slider until the red is about where we want it to go. And you can even kind of brush over it again to make sure your red matches. And of course, you'll want to hit Control Shift S or File Save As to rename this so you don't overwrite your original file. There you go. We have a red frame from an orange one and a red one from a purple one, and you can use this to recolor just about any element. So good luck, and if you have any questions, please email me at susieqscraps@gmail.com. Thanks.